First of all, congratulations. I love the show so
Oh my God.
much. I'm obsessed with it.
Amazing. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
it's great. I watched it all in a day and I told everyone with ears to go watch it. Like got the whole family on, so we're
Okay.
on the front lines there.
Did you start watching? Like,
What
was this
what
like,
time?
yes. Like,
Oh goodness. I so when did it premiere? It premiered like a Friday, the
yes.
ninth. I think like 9
Oh my
9
God.
a.m.
Oh,
like bright and early and
yeah.
I just did it.
I think that's the way to do it because I think for some people it's daunting to just binge it, but I have told my friends, like, you can start in the morning and you'll be happy that you
Oh
sat.
yeah.
Yes. Um,
Absolutely. It
but I'm
I
sorry.
knocked it out so quick.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think you guys do a great job too at like ending it in a way where it's like, well, now I have to watch one more just to keep going.
Right.
And yeah, so
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
it's an easy binge.
totally. And yeah, the endings are all very strong, as are the beginnings and the middles as well. But the endings do leave you wanting more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think Mr. Levy did his big one on this. Like it's good stuff.
Totally.
So let's start at the beginning of this journey for you. Tell me kind of how Natalie and this role came your way and how you got involved.
So it was a pretty standard audition
Mm.
process. I got an email from my agent for a self-tape, and then I think I only had the sides at that point, or maybe I had one episode, but I just immediately I love Dan and his writing is so brilliant. And I felt like I think sometimes in preparing for an audition, I can second guess my instincts a lot. And then it takes me like 5 hours to film a tape because by the end, I've finally found the character. And with this, I just, for whatever reason, I found her kind of immediately. And the audition for me was my very first scene and then my very last scene, which is like this monologue. And that monologue really helped me figure out where she goes and like what she's capable of. And she's kind of, I think, quietly chaotic. And you
Oh
see that
yeah.
at yeah. Um, you see where she can go. But I filmed it when I was home in Michigan. I'm back there a lot and I was home and then my mom and her friends were about to start their mahjong group. So I had very limited time. And I remember like I got the last take when all of the ladies were coming over and I could hear their voices from upstairs. So there was also a time crunch and I
Yeah.
think it helped
Oh,
me.
absolutely. I feel that.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then I had a call back with Dan and Taylor, and I
Oh,
got to
okay.
read a couple scenes with Taylor. And then I think I maybe had to wait a couple more days. And I kept texting my manager saying, maybe I could just send one more tape in or something, because I just really wanted it. And yeah, then I found out that I got it. And
Incredible.
yes.
That's so interesting that you kind of got her right away. Because one of my next questions was, I feel like so much of her arc and their mother's arc hinges on perception, and like Natalie is very much not what she appears to be,
Right.
but is very obsessed with it. So I was wondering if like your initial perception of her like differed in any way and if it evolved, but it sounds like you kind of got to see the scope of it.
I think so. I think by the time, well, I think Laurie really informed my performance as well.
Mm.
Because she is just it's hard not to just be watching her as a person in a scene with her genuinely. Um, and to like step out of character for a second. But then I think her performance is just brilliant and my it only made sense because I think my character's main motivation is to please my mom and to be her mini me and my entire life centers around her. So I think naturally some of my like mannerisms and uh tone, like some of our tones and wording, it all ended up seeming pretty similar. And but I think that's because I was like really chasing that and informing my performance off of Laurie, maybe subconsciously.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense like, you can read a thing and it makes sense one way, but I feel like when you get there, it's a totally different
Yeah,
ball game.
totally. Totally. And as soon as I put on all the headbands, that was very informative as well. The costumes were just amazing.
I
Incredible.
feel like I saw her with the first time we see her with the headband. I kind of
Oh,
knew. I was like, "Yep,
yes.
I got the vibe."
Totally. And I don't think I've worn a headband since high school.
Oh, wow.
And I think that was the cause of all of my headache. So it would make anyone angry to be wearing
Okay.
that many headbands. So maybe that's part of it,
Wow.
part of the anger.
Very method of you. Very,
Yes.
yeah, really like putting yourself in there.
Mhm.
That's amazing. I I think one thing, because you were talking about you and Lori, one thing that really stood out to me was her line, "I never should have weaponized you with an education." I feel like that is such a like chef's kiss of an
Yeah.
encapsulation. Can you
Yeah.
just kind of talk about like being like weaponized with an education, how that like really
Yeah.
played into it? I feel like that's just so much of her, like distilled.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that scene was one of my favorites to
It's
shoot.
brilliant.
It's amazing and she is incredible in it. And um I think it's maybe one of the only times that Natalie is challenging Laurie's character,
Hmm.
but she's still so timid about it and like doesn't I think she doesn't want to cross into a different territory and also become like an enemy of her mom. So she's trying her hardest to stay in her good graces, but also knows, okay, I have the ability. I'm smart enough to keep up with Linda. And I think that was I think it also informed, oh, there is more to Natalie, but she's holding back. And she's kind of playing, um, she isn't showing all of her cards.
Yeah.
She's very selective when she does. So I think that was maybe a moment where she tries to be on the same playing field as her mom.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. While
Yeah,
still being
oh, go ahead.
timid. Oh
Oh,
no, that's it. Yeah, yeah,
well, and I feel like too, like you can kind of sense like her own like agenda. Like,
yeah.
I mean, her agenda is very tied up in her mom's agenda, but you can
Yeah.
feel her like that first glimmer of her like pushing her own agenda
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think in her heart she she does want to be there for her mom and for her
Of
mom to be
course.
successful. That is her main motivation. But of course, I think in the back of her mind, she's seeing this is the beginning of my career as well. So
Hmm.
we better not mess it up. So I think some of it has to be self-serving, but also I think she is really in it and for her mom and has seen how much Linda has sacrificed and um really wants to be a team
Yeah.
with her.
They're also intricately drawn. I feel like every member of
Yes.
this family is such a like a
Mhm.
complicated mess.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yes. Complete messes. All of them.
complete. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, um, like we've said, she's not really what she seems. What is kind of the key for you? I feel like something that really stood out to me was how you layer in these maybe like darker tendencies or like these little flickers we're talking about, but making
Yeah.
it so like if you look back, they're always there, but it's never like a wink at the camera. Like I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes maybe when we're trying to layer in something that'll come out later, there's like a wink to the camera. But this, like, I think you do a great job at holding the cards to your chest while making it omnipresent. Kind of what was the key in doing that for you?
Thank you so much. I'm trying to think. There's one scene in particular before Natalie reveals that she has something to do with Tom Donaldson, like that entire arc.
Mhm.
Um, and I do remember being directed to not totally let on that Natalie. knows what's going on behind the scenes. But that she's not a professional, like she's capable of lying, but it's going to show up on her face a little bit, but you probably won't catch it until you've reached the end of the series and then are watching back. But I think I think a lot of it was instinctual too, because I think until the end, she really is just trying to keep it together, but then also has these moments of like no emotional regulation at all. And it's just becoming the baby of the family again, like truly having a tantrum. There's one moment when she's across from Linda, when Linda reveals that they're tied. And I remember Dan telling me, I don't know his exact wording, but he just kind of said, you can scream at the top, like just do whatever. And it's not what I was envisioning. And then the minute I started to do it, I was like, oh my God, this is informing everything for me. She's completely nuts. Uh, and doesn't she can handle these situations to a point, and then she
Yeah.
becomes like the rest of her family who are all pretty unregulated and screaming and um so no matter how much she wants to kind of separate herself from the chaos of her two siblings and her mom's yelling, that she still
Yeah.
it's within her.
I think that's my favorite part of her. Like she is doing this like very conscious effort to not be like at their level. And like she just at the end of the day can't help
Yeah.
it. And that kind of ties into my next question. I think she has this unraveling of sorts as things move along. Can you talk about like kind of charting out her unraveling a little bit and like where and how big and when, etc.?
Yes. I think I think the first couple of episodes, she really before shit hits the fan, I guess, she is seemingly calm and has everything in control. And then the minute that there any kind of wrench is thrown into her perfect plan, she just starts to lose it left and right. And then I think by the end monologue, I mean, my thought for that entire final episode is that she is actually just losing it. Like when she finds out that Tom won't be showing up for the rock, paper, scissors, she just is becoming a different person altogether. Um,
It's
but I think
so good. By the way, I'm cackling remembering it. It's
totally
so good.
she like really, I mean, which was of course so much fun. And I was so sleep deprived. We were all just so sleep. We were nearing the end, um, and getting like so comfortable with each other and the tone of everything. And that also really helped. But yeah, I think in that last episode, she is just losing it in terms of how joyful she is in certain moments. And then by the end, she is just really, really wasted and is gonna tell everyone, you know, about her marriage and about all these things that her siblings, she doesn't really talk to them, I don't think. Certainly not about her personal life. So she's just a loose cannon by the
Yeah.
end. And I
Oh,
think it is just the buildup of stress. And
yeah.
then when they win, she's like, oh, okay, I can have a drink. And she probably shouldn't.
No.
No,
No, perhaps not.
no.
Oh gosh, yeah. I like so clearly remember like watching that with just my jaw on the floor because
Mhm.
it is a little jarring like watching her
Yeah.
just like we can see it happening, but just
Yeah.
to see it like fully unravel is
Yeah.
jarring.
It's really jarring, I think. And I think her going to her siblings to maybe reveals how, not like how lonely she is, but I don't think she has many people that she
Mhm.
is really connecting with, which is kind of sad. So then you see her, like she is a certain version of herself for her mom, and her marriage is falling apart. So this is like, oh, she's going to her two siblings who they should be close, but they're not, but that she has no other choice. So
Yeah.
she's just. going to her two older siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, it kind of reminded me of Schitt's Creek in that regard, like these
Oh yeah.
dysfunctional families kind of finding their way back to each other in a weird. This is a very like twisty turny roadmap back, but it kind of feels like
Yeah.
they're finding each other again and like trying
Yes.
like realizing they need each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Laurie has a line in the last episode when she's addressing all of us on the couch, and she mentioned something like that to Nikki and Morgan about them finding their way back to each other. And she obviously doesn't know the extent of their situation, but I think it is that line's there for a reason because they are in a weird roundabout way finding their way back to each other. And it just happens to be under not the best circumstances. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, you kind of touched on her a little bit, but I did write down in my notes just Laurie Metcalf. I mean, like, come on. I don't have anything super deep to ask, just like, what was
Right.
it like getting to play with her? I think she's kind of a force of nature. So
She
I would,
did.
and you spend a lot of time one-on-one with her. So, like,
Yeah.
what was that like for you? Like, I know you said she kind of informed your performance, but what was it like getting to like really collaborate with her?
I truly felt, well, yes, she is like a force, and Lady Bird is one of my favorite movies of all
Yes.
time. So, of course, leading up to that, that's all I could think about. Like, oh my God, what do I get? Do I say something? What do I? And then the minute that I met Lori, I luckily just had like kind of forgot about all of that, and
Mhm.
then was just meeting Lori as a person and not someone that I'm watching and am a fan of. And she is just completely down to earth and disarming and so just so cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the second day we were hanging out, we were just talking about reality TV for like an hour,
Oh.
and Dancing with the Stars was playing at that time. So we were talking about that and like Love Island. And that's pretty much the bulk of what we were talking about in between
Mm.
takes had little to do with work
Very
or,
cool though.
yeah, the scene itself, which is kind of sometimes that's important and necessary to talk about it, but it's also just as important to build a relationship and a
Yeah.
comfortability between someone you're working with. And that just happened really naturally with her. And I think was made, we were all having so much fun. I think she was having the most fun. Every time I would look at her, every time we finished a take, she would start hysterically laughing. Like every time.
I love
Um,
that.
and yeah, I think she was just having so much fun and was like so joyful the entire time. Um, so it made it all the more fun and joyful for me as well. To
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Well, you've fueled my obsession with her even more
Oh no,
so. Yeah.
yes.
Of course, she's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of same thing with like Dan and Taylor. Like I know you spend maybe more time with Lori, but like what was it like? Was it kind of similar, like finding like those pockets of moments just to build a relationship in order to like better
Yeah,
inform you guys?
totally. And I had the same uh, feeling towards Dan. Like before I had to go to the callback, I was again very anxious about like, do I address that I know this person, that I don't
Mm.
know him personally, but I'm such a fan of his work.
Yeah.
And then kind of the same thing happened. He was so, even in the callback, like so locked in and excited about this project and just kind of talked about the world and my character and his character and Taylor's character for like 20 minutes before the callback even began.
Oh,
Um, so it really put me at ease and just, again, like put me into this mode of, oh, we're here to do this. And he is so excited and passionate about this project. And I had all the confidence in him before he did that too, but it just made me realize like, okay, we're all in this together and I'm so excited. And then Taylor, it was so cool with Taylor because I actually got to FaceTime with her before the callback. Um, and similar to Laurie, we barely talked about the characters. We were talking about, I think, reality TV again. We were just maybe for like an hour and a half
Oh
FaceTiming.
wow.
I told her I'm kind of nervous, and she said, Dan is so cool. You've nothing to be nervous about. I'm still nervous. I have the part, and it's like a natural feeling, but he's gonna love you, and he loves you right now, and I love you. So it was just um so helpful, and she is also just the coolest.
So
per-
cool.
Yeah, Dan, Taylor, and Lori, I feel like really set the tone for
Mm,
everyone, and certainly I just feel so lucky that I got to like work with them every day. And even, I mean, I didn't have a lot of scenes with them, but I saw them on set most days, and Dan was truly there for every moment. Like he was there in my fitting. He was just there even when he wasn't shooting. Um, he was so involved with everything. And similar to Lori, I would hear him like howling at the top of his lungs, watching what was happening, even if he's not in the scene. He's just loving, yeah, and finding it hysterical. So that was also so just, yeah, very helpful to see everyone having fun, even though I know it's a stressful, he has like every job in the world with this show.
yeah.
But he was still able to have like find a lot of joy in the filming of it.
Yeah. That's amazing to hear. It's great when like people you admire or like watch and adore are like good
Yeah.
people and about the work. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
My final question for you, this flew by. I could queen out with you for hours. Oh my goodness. But I feel like ironically, Natalie maybe is the best suited for like the mob-like activity. I know she like kind of has a unraveling, but I think she kind of is best suited for it. What
Yeah.
is like your hope for her going forward? I do need like another season. I will be at Netflix's door demanding it, but if we are to get it, like what are your hopes and dreams for her? Where do you see her going?
I I see it all. I think she could really, I mean, I know she's lost it, but I just think she could. I feel like her life is going to go in a drastically different direction. That's my hope. And I don't
Yeah.
know if that is like a big shakeup in her relationship or if she does somehow get involved. I don't know exactly what's going to happen to her, but my hope is that she leans more into the unraveling, and then maybe that will just crack open like a whole new Natalie, and then
Yeah.
people have to live with this new version. But I feel like she's maybe gonna find some kind of confidence too, because I think a lot of her snippiness and like um kind of sucking up to her mom is coming from a place of deep insecurity. So I'm hoping that maybe she finds some kind of confidence, even if it's probably going to be in a crazy way. But I am hoping that she steps into like a new version of herself. And I don't, maybe she has an affair. I don't know.
I support
Maybe
I
someone
support
has.
that for her.
Right. But whatever happens, maybe she takes her headband out. I think that will be a big
Wow.
sign.
I
That's
can
there's
see like a slow-mo drop of the headband hitting the ground.
like out the car window.
Yeah, wow.
That would be big.
Get get Netflix, get Dan on the phone. We're on to something here. Well, this was wonderful. Thank you again for taking the time. Again, I love the show. I love you on it. I need 1,000 more episodes, so I'll be rooting for you all.
Thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you, and I'm so happy that you like the show.
Oh, of course, of course. And it was likewise wonderful meeting you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah.